Not a third. Are we a fourth?
Maybe.
We're a fourth of the way of being able to have the opportunity to talk to all these nonprofits today to help them raise money to make a difference throughout Southern Illinois. This is the time of year where it's all about giving, and there's a lot of people that are in need, and there's a lot of people that need hope. And today we get the privilege of seeing all these nonprofits, especially these executive directors, give their time, their energy, and their own personal resources to help others. And no one better than Clare Killman to come in and talk a little bit more about her nonprofit. And she's very passionate, and I don't want to take away from her because she's amazing. And so tell us a little bit about your nonprofit and what you're going to be raising these funds for.
Thank you for having me here, Tom and Michelle. It's nice to be here among friends talking about such good stuff. Bright and early.
Yeah.
Lovely Southern Illinois morning. I am here on behalf of the Dispute Resolution Institute, for which I do a whole lot of program work and mediation, which is the main focus of what the Dispute Resolution Institute does. We run programs throughout Illinois in various circuits, but we were started and founded down here in the 1st Judicial Circuit, which is like the lower 9 counties in Illinois. We're headquartered and mostly do a lot of our work in Jackson and Williamson counties. Now, what mediation is, it's basically just a conversation between 2 disputing parties that involves a neutral third person with the goal of coming to some sort of resolution if there's one to be found. And we do all of this work, multiple program areas in multiple courts throughout Southern Illinois for free. So we're providing these services at no cost to participants and very rarely at cost to the court. And we love what we do. I love what I do. I get to help people all day, which is nice. That it makes you feel like what you're doing is worthwhile, which I think has become rarer and rarer as far as employment is concerned in our society. But it feels nice to be able to really get down into the nitty-gritty of solving people's problems, right? So the programs that I run that are active in Southern Illinois are our family mediation program, which involves people who are separating or who are not married and have children together. I also run an agricultural mediation program, which involves any farmers, any agricultural producers throughout the entirety of Illinois, but specifically in the 1st Circuit as applies to this. Any dispute that a farmer gets into, be it with a bank that they have a home through, or that they're getting money from through a lending situation, or a USDA agency that they're operating with, or another farmer, or like a farmer's market, or really anything. The way that grant's written, a farmer could come to me with anything, and I could help resolve their dispute. I also work a lot with our eviction program. So we run an eviction program that helps solve disputes between landlords and tenants. And then we also take community mediation cases in the broader Southern Illinois region. And so we've mediated just about anything you can conceive of, like protest signage between a municipality and a resident, right? That's something that we've mediated before. Or intrafamilial financial disputes, right? Or drafting succession plans for people for how they're going to transition their businesses over to the next generation. Or for a company, if there are disputes between members of their workplace, I can mediate that as a community case. There's all sorts of strange examples that crop up with people in Southern Illinois and how they're all interrelating, and it's nice to be a sort of force for ensuring that no pot's boiling over.
And so obviously the breakdown, it's always communication, right? Not being able to effectively communicate in a way where there's a lot of emotions at high. And so you come in and are able to kind of hopefully navigate the emotions, look at the facts, and try to, mediate what is a win-win for both parties. The one thing that you mentioned that I think is probably really prevalent this time of year is eviction. It seems like it doesn't matter, wintertime, holidays, there's a lot of evictions going on instead of trying to work with tenants or tenants working with landlords. What are some of the areas that you see that you've benefited the most from helping people in that area?
So my office also sets time aside within that program to organize court-based rental assistance for people. And so we're our region's designated court-based rental assistance, like taskmaster. So when the court decides that this is either a good idea for people or landlords or tenants preemptively seek us out, we invite them into our office and we will walk them through the process and help get them set up with those monies. We will directly interface with IDA on their behalf, these state agencies. And so we can take a lot of the burden and the legwork, because getting access to this money is not necessarily easy if you don't know how to get a hold of it. And so it's been very fruitful for the residents of Southern Illinois in the lower 9 counties to have people who are available, from my perspective, to get their rent caught up. We can also get your rent paid 3 months into the future. So I think it's 15 months total is what we're able to get people on back rent if they owe it, and then rents into the future. It's keeping people in their homes longer. It's repairing relationships between landlords and tenants, which at the time we get hold of them are usually fractured. So it's good.
Yeah, so it really is the impact in Southern Illinois. I just learned about dispute resolution probably 2 or 3 years ago when I met Missy, and she is absolutely fantastic. But I had no idea that these programs existed in Southern Illinois. And so being able to know the impact that it has in our communities, but knowing just how much of an impact it can have overall, because we really are taking, just like you said, those relationships that sometimes are fractured and being able to find a way to mend them, whatever that looks like. And so I'm sure it looks different for everyone.
Oh, yeah. So mediation is what you make of it, right? So my job is simply just to be a bridge where I can and move people from their entrenched positions toward a shared common interest. And sometimes, the hope is that they find that shared common interest over the course of a conversation. Not all people do. The practice that we lead is not necessarily like outcome centric. We want to give people the space to be heard. And oftentimes that leads to a better result for everyone overall than us strong-arming people into an agreement that they can't live with. And so in my own mediation practice and the mediation practice of my colleagues, we take very great care to ensure that everyone is buying into this process. It's consensual beforehand, that you're not agreeing to anything that you don't want to agree to, and that what the eventual outcome of this process winds up being, is something that everyone's walking away from feeling like they're getting something out of it at the end of the day.
Now, you mentioned your colleagues. How many people are a part of this team?
I think we're up to 10 now.
Wow.
So when I started 2 years ago, it was 3 people and me, so it was 4. And over 2 years, we've grown up to 10. We started a branch in a new circuit over the past 2 years. It's the 6th Circuit up in the Champaign County area. And then we have an office that is also in the Belleville area in St. Clair County. So we've branched out. And again, some of these programs that we're running are statewide. So we'll take cases from outside our service areas. But my agricultural program, I'm getting cases from all the way up near Chicago to dang near Indiana.
Oh, wow. So tell us a little bit, we've talked about the impact that this has in the community and kind of what that service area looks like, but what are the funds that are donated through GiveSI going to be used for?
So I presume what the funds will be used for from today, anything that we're raising on Giving Tuesday, will probably go directly to our community mediation funds. So we would love to have that program seeded and get it set up and more robust so that way we can advertise those services to our community. We are taking cases at this point, and I've got more cases than I know what to do with right now, but being able to hire program-specific staff to build that program out and be dedicated to receiving the influx that we're seeing as far as coordinating mediators, making sure mediators are getting these cases, interfacing with community members and being hyper present in spaces of community in Southern Illinois. That way they can be a sort of beacon of hope for these services to others. Just ensuring that whatever funds wind up getting raised are going to go toward that.
You know, and as we talk about listening to you say 2 years, I'm assuming that would have been right in the middle of the eviction crisis.
Oh,
and so when
that
you're
was
talking
wild.
about when you're talking about the need in the community,
No shortage of cases for that.
No,
Yeah.
well, we're case flush, really. We're not hurting for cases because people have so many problems. And when you're in the business of problem solving,
Yeah.
I don't think problems are ever going away. I don't think conflict's ever going away. You see that on the global scale right now. You know, we need people who are neutral forces for conflict resolution now more than ever in our world.
Mhm.
It was very harrowing to be very green and go through the end of the eviction moratorium because there was an onslaught. Not to say I'm sure there are all sorts of mixed feelings about there ever having been an eviction moratorium, but the deluge of cases that we wound up getting and how early the court-based criminal assistance funds were at that time, it was a rocky road to get to where we're at now. Things luckily are much more streamlined, so we're able to get people in and out quick. We can get that money in your hand in 2 weeks flat if we're quick about it.
And I'm guessing that sounds great to landlords to be able to say, hey, listen, we can do this in 2 weeks. We know this is what it works and where it's at. So dispute resolution, look in the description below. You're going to click those 3 easy steps. Click it. D. All you got to go down is the D. Dispute resolution. And you know, this is the time of year that a lot of people don't need to be worrying about where they're going to live. And so the services that dispute resolution offers Claire and her team are priceless. And you know, unless you've been in that situation and you don't know exactly what that means to a family, it means everything, especially this time of year. So donate, go down and make sure that if you have any questions, how can they learn more about dispute resolution?
You can visit our website at dri-inc.org.
There you go. And I know you're very transparent and visible and throughout social media as well. So I know that if someone reaches out to you that way, that you'd be happy to help.
Happy to.
All right. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.